So there's a new trailer from Ubisoft for the upcoming Star Wars game, Star Wars Outlaws, which is due to be released in August the 30th. And I'm going to have a quick look at this trailer and see the version of the game coming out, and I'll give you my thoughts in regards to how I feel about this game and whether or not I think it's worth getting, and any issues I might have with this game and any other games that Ubisoft have been putting out recently. So let's have a quick look at this trailer. So this is the new trailer that came out. It's all in-game.
Represents some of the most powerful criminal organizations in the galaxy.
First off, it looks really good.
Huts. It's a golden age for the underworld.
I believe it's set between the original trilogy movies as well.
The galaxy. But they're distracted by a rebellion that won't quit. It's an opportunity to make millions.
And the reason I'm a big Star Wars fan, and one of the reasons I'm really interested in this is one of the few games where we don't play as a Jedi with a lightsaber. As much as I love the Fallen Order series, Jedi Fallen Order, and
you crossed their boss Slero, and now he wants you gone. Rob his fortune and buy your freedom.
This is a very Uncharted-esque type game, but it's got an open world setting, so it gives very Uncharted 4 vibes. There was a gameplay trailer as well previously, like a year ago, I think it was.
Your reputation.
This definitely nails the Star Wars look. It looks really good, graphically as well.
Know the players.
Like, I'd say it's on par with Jedi Survivor, maybe even slightly better, but then it's hard to tell because this is a tailored trailer with in-game cinematics.
I got a whole crew surrounding the... Okay.
But there's also an issue I have with trailers I'll get to in a second.
For about as long as I can remember, it's just been me and Nix. Doing what we have to survive. This job is...
But what I believe, from what they've said about the game in preview events, is it's going to be a series of open world environments. So not one huge map, but a number of different planets you can explore. We've got a few classic characters in there, like Jabba the Hutt, callbacks to the films, and so on.
She's more connected than you let on, Slero. Bess is mixed up in something big.
They'd like to tie it in one way or another.
The Outer Rim is a dangerous place. Everyone is fighting for their piece of the galaxy.
It's a mix of cinematic and a few bits of gameplay.
So I'm gonna...
Obviously, it has been heavily edited to make it look good and trade, so you don't have any UI in the way. But yeah, you can pre-order it now. August 30th is when it's coming out, and they give 3 days of early access if you do pre-order certain editions, which I want to have a quick word about. So that trailer looks fantastic. I'm not going to lie, it looks really good. So August, it's going to be the biggest release in August, because the only other big game that might be competing against it as a single-player game would be Black Myth Wukong. The biggest game of July is going to be Final Fantasy XIV's expansion. And after August in September, because it's coming out right at the end of August, so it's going to be on the cusp of that. Nothing major to compete against. So it should be the big tentpole release of that period, right? My issue with this is if you scroll down, and it's the same issue I've had with previous Ubisoft releases. I'm not going to sugarcoat it either. We all remember what Watch Dogs was like when the trailer came out for that and how polished it looked versus the final game we got. And Ubisoft have had a history of showing pre-rendered cinematic trailers for a lot of their works. And the final game not always living up to how it's supposed to look. I think with Avatar Frontiers of Pandora is probably the one that was closest to looking like how it did, because that game ended up looking really good as well. It's one of the main draws, although it did have a few, I think it had a few performance issues on PC, depending on your rig. It had a lot of high demands for what you needed. But yeah, there's pre-order bonuses for cosmetics and stuff. There's a season pass in a single-player game, which one thing I always take issue with, because I love Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor, purely because start to finish, single-player experience, you pay for it, you get it. There's nothing new that's going to be downloaded, added on. And all the cosmetics were free. They were in the game. Like, there was like a pre-order exclusive for like the Obi-Wan series outfit. That was it, really. Like, there's a ton of in-game free cosmetics for your lightsaber and your character and stuff. We have no idea when they'll be coming out. This is one of the issues I have with this. I know Alan Wake had the same problem as well, because they had a season pass with DLC. I don't think any of that DLC has been released yet, as far as I'm aware. So people have paid extra for something that they were promised and they haven't received yet. And I think it's going to be the same case, but then, who knows? It might include cosmetics. We don't know what it includes, maybe 2 narrative expansions. We don't know how long they'll be. They tend to be pretty short as well. I think Assassin's Creed did get a few substantial ones. If I remember correctly, Odyssey had a few good ones that people raved about. But it's a bit hit and miss. If I wanted to pre-order this, the only way to get it is on Ubisoft Connect. So you can't get it on Steam. Ubisoft, they're not really releasing their games on Steam. Like, they haven't released Avatar Frontiers of Pandora on Steam yet. It's on Epic, I believe. They might have it on the Epic Game Store. So it might be like a year exclusive or something. They're doing on their premium subscription to compete with Xbox Game Pass, I believe. But yeah, $59.99 for the standard price. But if we click here to discover editions, we'll see there's like 4 different editions of this game, which is what they've been doing with all of the games, with Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and so on, where they'll add the base game and then say, oh, the base game and maybe 3 years early access and the season pass is slightly more. And then if you want a few more extra goodies, like a few skins and then the digital art book, and then above that, like if you also get it with this, we're looking at a total of £115 for everything, and that includes the Ultimate Edition here, which is extortionate for a video game, right? I'm a big fan of the Yakuza and the Like a Dragon series, and I did have issues with that game's art. Despite being a big fan of Like a Dragon, with Infinite Wealth, I was not happy with having to pay 90 for the full game with everything included, including New Game Plus. That was one fucking expensive game to get if you wanted to have all the features included. And I'm not happy with this trend the gaming industry is showing. So I don't know if I want to even support this game, despite being one of the biggest Star Wars fans. I don't know if I don't want to install. One thing, I'm not a big fan of Ubisoft's game launcher. I really don't like it at all. Like, I've got, let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different store launchers on my PC right now. I don't want to pick between them. I'd rather have it all in one, but at the same time, I know they'll release it on Steam in a year from now. So I'm not in any rush to play this. Let's be honest. I'm not that fussed. If anything, this is putting me off wanting to get it on day one, actually. Because when I look at that price and consider my options, because there are a lot of games coming out. So if I go back to that list of games coming out this year, if I scroll back, let's say a month or 2, right? So, yeah, June. We've got Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree coming out then. October looks sparse right now, purely because they don't announce games. Because that's October, November, that's the holiday period where they make a lot of sales, especially during things like Black Friday and Christmas in December. So we'll be getting a lot of games that we don't even know about yet. Probably announced at like Summer Game Fest or something. So who knows what we're getting then. I'm not a fan of this new model and I don't really want to support it. So I don't know if I'll be getting this game at all. If I do get this game, it'll most likely be standard. Because I don't trust Ubisoft enough to provide... to, want to invest in the Gold Edition. In fact, if I do want to get the DLC, I'll get it when it's on sale later. Because I imagine when the whole thing's come out, they'll discount it and do like a Game of the Year edition like they did for Far Cry 6. Which went for like literally peanuts by the end of it. 9 months ago, if I let this play, it shows you a good... It shows you one thing that I really wish Ubisoft would do more often. That's actual gameplay footage of the game. So I'm glad they did this. But obviously, work in progress does not present final quality. So we have no idea if the final game will look anything like this, despite how good it looks. And I have a feeling, because they've been known to do it in the past, that this has definitely been cranked up to max settings on a PC. I don't think an actual PC is going to have these graphics either.
Good.
But I'm going to skip forward a little bit. It's very Uncharted-esque. Over-the-shoulder third-person combat with elemental stealth. Set in an open world, basically.
Nice one.
All the things I love to hear. These are all things that I absolutely love. The climbing, parkour. It's very reminiscent of Uncharted, and I'm a big fan of Uncharted. So I'd love to see more games like it. And graphically, this looks fantastic.
I just leaving. Okay, we'll figure this out.
I'm going to show a glimpse of the open world gameplay in a moment as well. This looks really good. And I'm not going to begrudge anyone who does want to get it, or who is very hype about it. But it's one thing that I'm very cautious of. I'm probably going to wait until reviews are out first as well. Because they've got the early access period, and I'm not rushing to play this, so I'm not too fussed about the early access period. But one thing I do hope is if they're going to have an early access period like this that people pay for, it better fucking work on day one. Because there have been so many games where they have an early access period, and then the game just doesn't fucking work. And then they end up extending the early access period or something.
Let's try this out.
I believe Suicide Squad had that issue with the PC release, where they had early access. It just didn't work for anyone because it's completely broken. I don't know if they've ever fixed that game, actually. This is the glimpse of the open world gameplay, where she hops on that little speeder bike.
I think that went pretty well, right?
And this all looks like fantastic gameplay. Graphically, this looks amazing.
Oh, these guys don't quit.
And I like the look of the protagonist as well. He looks like a very interesting character. And I wish more Star Wars like media would show you the whole, you know, aspect of being a rogue or a scoundrel in the galaxy. Considering that they always portray the galaxy as being so full of crime and scoundrels and criminals and all these like syndicates like the trailer showed. But we only ever see the Jedi and the Sith. Or the Skywalker family. Like, I'd be more open to seeing stuff like this.
Won't be working for the Pikes anytime soon.
Well, they'll probably forgive me.
Comforting.
They seem to have a reputation system for the criminal factions as well.
We made it, Nix.
It'd be interesting to see how that plays out. I believe a few journalists have had the chance to play the game. There are first impression, like early preview impressions out there on YouTube you can find. I unfortunately was not one of those people because I didn't even have a YouTube channel at the time, so yeah, this channel's only like a few months old, so if you want to go ahead and help support me so I can be at the next one, drop a like and subscribe.
Hey, Andy.
One thing I also don't trust is the UI. It looks very minimalist, and I'm loving the minimalist UI look. But I don't trust it, purely because there are games like Suicide Squad. I'm going to keep bringing that one up as a example, because it's the most recent, like, quadruple A game experience that we have, so I'm going to compare it to that one. Early gameplay videos versus the actual game when it came out. They hid a lot of the UI elements to make it look better. And then when the actual game came out, the UI was an absolute mess with too much information.
Round two,
And I'm hoping they stick, or at least give you the option. I know Ubisoft games have been good for certain things. One of the things they've been very good for is accessibility features, offering things like colorblind mode, and the option to customize UI elements, so you can hide bits that you're not needing. So if you don't need all that information available all the time, you can always lower it a little bit, which I wish more games would do. So I have to, as much as I am, you know, putting Ubisoft down, I have to give them credit where credit is due, right?
Hey, he's on twice.
But it looks like during cinematic moments, the graphics do get a lot better.
They're investments.
But I still haven't forgiven Jedi Survivor for the state it launched in. And I don't think Jedi Survivor was ever properly fixed. I think it still is riddled with a number of issues, making it difficult to play and having hard crashes and stuff, which is a shame, because that game was actually amazing. It had a great story, great cast of characters, and it looked fantastic, and it nailed the Star Wars vibe. And it's upsetting to see how bad of a state that game launched in. But yeah, one of the things that they advertise is obviously dialogue options and choices between factions, changing how you stand with them and affecting the story. It'll be interesting to see how much the story does branch. I imagine it'll be like maybe 4 different endings that you choose from.
Maybe.
Because I don't know if they'll have, if they do, I'll be really fucking impressed. If they do have like multiple different like sort of morality systems in Red Dead Redemption, but for each faction, So you have your approval with one faction and another one. It would be interesting to see how much they will allow that to affect narrative. But they have, again, a wanted system like GTA.
Not the first time we've outrun the Empire.
Yeah, I am cautiously optimistic about the game. I want it to do well. It looks really good. It hits all the notes that I want in a video game. But I've been burned too many times to, in good conscience, say I want to pre-order this game or encourage others to do so. Because it's just encouraging industry trends that are only going to make things worse for us, because all it's doing is teaching them that, hey, we are more willing to give away more money for things that they're promising us and not even giving us on the first day. Because everyone gets excited by shiny new video game. Yeah, let me know in the comments below if you're interested in getting this game. You could be pre-ordering, if you're not pre-ordering. How you feel about Ubisoft and their games recently. Like, I'm not happy with the trends that they've been going through in regards to a lot of their games. And I wish they would do better. In fact, I was very happy, issues aside with Jedi Survivor's PC performance, I was very happy with how EA and Respawn were handling that series by just releasing the full game with nothing cut out and not trying to milk every penny out of you with DLC or expansion packs. And I kind of want more games to do that, but unfortunately I think it's leaning more into giving us games that have battle passes and expansions. And I'm just not happy about it. But yeah, let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe for keeping up with my content. And I also stream on this channel, live streams. If you also want to tune into that, please do. Chat with me while I'm live. Let me know how you feel about all this stuff. And hopefully I'll see you in the next video.